wash off as soon as I get in. I'm not doing this.
Hello everyone that's already joined us. We just started the live feed a little bit early, so people have got time to see the notifications and to jump on before the racing starts. As you can see, the race before our first race of the day is just peeling back into the paddock, so we're expecting the scooters out onto the grid very soon. So we have the first standard scooters of the race weekend. So that's our classes, Group 10, Group 4, Group 4E and Production. So we'll just look at the starting lineup for you. So for Stock Championship we have in pole position Graham Tatton on the number 3 DSC race scooter on his Lambretta 4E. In second place is Dave Bristow, number 63 on the Hornet Racing Group 4E, and then Ryan Clipson in third on his Group 10, and then James McNally in fourth on the first of the second row on his 4E, and then first of the production scooters is Nikita, followed by Stephen Wright. Then we've got Shane Hunsdale, Ben Reddins and Brooke Norby, Gary Smith, Simon Palmer, John Holt, John Woods, Gavin Gray, Steve Hamilton. Nice to see Steve back out. Steve is on a production class SS90 this weekend. Nice to see another small frame on the grid. And then behind them we've got John Balcombe, Andrew Walker, George Fielder, Dan Loader and Michael Lester. So just looking to see, I know Michael's had some mechanical issues, I haven't seen him as yet, but the scooters now all taking up their positions on the grid, ready for the sighting lap. Weather conditions unusually nice here. Anglesey, a little wave from Mr. Bristow there in second. He knows where we're positioned. Yes, so quite often get sunshine, but it's usually a good 20 mile an hour wind here at Anglesey. Quite still today, there is a breeze but nothing like normal, quite often affecting the scooter's performance down the back straight when it's a headwind facing you, but none of that this weekend. So whether people are slightly under geared to the usual positions for this, just seeing one of the marshals talking to Simon Palmer, seems to be pulling him off the grid for a reason. I know some of the scooters didn't get sound checked, but no, it's alright. Whatever it was, that's fixed for him, so he's back into position. That's good. Right, so we seem to be ready for the sighting lap now. Ryan Clipson in his new fluoro orange leathers, you'll not be able to miss him. So it's quite close lap times between Graham Tatton and Dave Bristow. Expect to see some close racing up the front. Further back the production scooters, again Steve Wright was very close to Nikita. Shane Hunsdale, Ben Reddins and Gary Smith all very close in the lap time, so we're expecting some good close racing. So we've got a good vantage point here, but we do miss the first corner and the second banked one, but they're away safely, everyone's off. So the BHR recovery van wants to get a move on before it's got a scooter right up its backside, but he's be turning right across that cut through the circuit and getting out of the way. Yeah, he's safely out of the way now. Should be able to make it across the circuit. So they're down away through the first left into the banked hairpin. They're just coming back through I can see them through the window, so they'll be coming back into view now onto the back straight. Class as a sighting lap, but you can see everyone's tucked in, getting a feel for the speed, getting a feel for the conditions as they're going up the hill for the first time. They go up into a sharp left, followed by another right hand hairpin, a short straight section across the back, and then you've got the right left of the corkscrew. An amazing piece of track to ride. The circuit doesn't always provide a lot of overtaking opportunities. It definitely fortunes the brave, because you have to be brave in this. Whilst it's quite a wide open track, the racing line itself, the quick line, is quite narrow. So Graham, Jimmy, Nikita, Brooke, Ryan, Dave Bristow, Steve Wright, Gary Smith, Ben Reddins. Looks like everyone's made it through. We'll double check as they get to the grid. It's a moment in time where I start to get jealous, having now found out, walking around at commentary, that Darley had already broken my leg, but everything's on the mend. So I can't see any gaps in the grid. Looks like everyone's made round the sighting lap. So they're away looking at the lights. Lights on. Away. Good start from Graham. Not so good for Dave. Good bunch behind them going into that first corner. You see them going through the glass, disappearing round into the first hairpin bend. So we'll look for who the leader is coming out of that second bend. It's a great corner, heavily banked. You very rarely come out of that corner thinking I should have gone slower. You're always thinking I could have gone a bit faster due to the banking. So it looks like Graham coming through into view now in first place. Yep. Got quite a substantial lead already, but Jimmy flying out of that right-hander, catching up Dave Bristow in second, Jimmy in close third, followed by Ryan Clipston. Then we've got the two production scooters of Nikita Donahue and Steve Wright. Up into the left, slightly off camber left-hand corner. And then a good gaggle of riders, mainly production, a couple of 4Es behind that. Everyone's still fairly close now. Not actually looked on the programme, see a number of laps that we're doing in each race. I'm guessing it's either 5 or 6. It's one of the second longest track we come to, so it could be a 5 lap, could be 6. But Graham's still in a substantial lead. Ryan's found his way past Dave Bristow and Jim McNally, so as Graham comes through, he's got that first section of the start-finish straight. And Jim is close on the back of Ryan Clipston, followed by Dave Bristow, then Nikita and Steve Wright, Brooke Norvey, Simon Palmer. Then we've got Ben Reddins and Gary Smith, the usual fighting duo. Then John Holt and Shane Hunsdale, followed by John Woods, Gavin Gray. There goes our 14-year-old superstar, George Fielder. First time ever here, so still finding his way around the track. That lead that Graham's got's only building so far. The Jim's come out fast through there, straight past Ryan. Ryan's obviously on a 70cc zip. Then we've got Dave Bristow in fourth overall, third in 4E. So further back, we've got Ben out front. So that'll be third in production, followed by Gary Smith, then Shane Hunsdale, then John Holt. Then it's John Woods, Gavin. Can't make out the other two. George flying down that back straight. He'll be disappointed that they've got away from him so early, but he's still got time to make up ground on them. As Graham comes through now, that lead has extended to the whole of the start-finish straight now. It's just getting a bigger and bigger lead. Jimmy looking down as he's going through. Dave Bristow catching him into that first left. Then Nikita starting to gap Steve Wright. Simon Palmer, Brooke Norvey on the 4Es. Then Ben Reddin, decent lead in front of Gary Smith, followed by his friends Shane Hunsdale and John Holt. Then we've got Gavin Gray, John Woods, And then it's Mark Clipston, Ryan's dad. Andy Walker coming through on his 4E. Thought I couldn't see George then, but he's back, so yeah. Down that back straight again. And here that Dave's still got an issue with the misfire. So Ben now starting to build up a lead on Gary for that third place in production, but Shane is catching his friend Gary. He's catching him considerably going up the hill. What will he do into the left-hander? Outside and better driver up the inside. He's gone tighter line. See who comes down the corkscrew first out of those two. But Graham Tatton, smooth as ever, extending that lead. Never seems under any pressure. Just confident in what he's doing. So then we've got Ryan coming through. Makes up ground in that top twisty section. But the 4Es tend to pick him up through the straights. Nikita now extended her lead over Steve Wright, first in production, Steve second. Then we've got the two 4Es, Simon Palmer in front of Brooke Norvitt, then Ben, Gary Smith, Shane Hunsdale. Similar gap as to before, so the top section not finding anything up on Gary, but he does seem to get better drive out of the hairpin coming onto the back straight. And there's Steve Hamilton now following John Woods. Great to see another small frame, great to see Steve back out. You still hear that strange misfire on the Hornet Racing 4E. So that's all of the 4Es through. Gary's not being dropped by Ben anymore. I wouldn't say he's catching him, but there's a similar gap back to Shane Hunsdale, another gap back to John Holt. And we've got Gavin Gray, John Woods, Stephen Hamilton. As Graham's already back with us onto the start-finish straight. Making it look easy, but I can assure you it's not. Then we've got Ryan Clipston in second place. It's a great result for Ryan. Dave looking over his shoulder to see how far Jimmy is behind him in second place for 4E. Nikita, smooth and consistent, building that gap in production. Second in production, Steve Wright. Ben and Gary, then Shane Hunsdale. It does always seem here at Anglesey that after that initial first few laps scraps, it just turn a little bit into everyone in the same order going round, but I can see John Woods and Steve Hamilton now trying to catch up with Gavin Gray. The production small frame at the back, John Woods on a 4E I believe, or a group 4. So Ben and Gary still a similar gap. Back to the looking for the leaders as Graham comes down now through the corkscrew. Knee trailing on each of the different sides. So that's the last lap for the leaders. Ryan now extending that second place overall, first in Group 10. And then we've got Jim McNally close behind David Bristow. Not giving up that fight. Dave's bike still misfiring in that mid-range. Nikita now full start-finish straight in the lead in production, followed by Steve Wright on the DSC Lambretta, then the two 4Es of Brooke Norvey and John Palmer. And Gary looks like he might be catching Ben a little bit. Shane, similar gap back. John Holt being dropped off a little by those. And then we've still got these three that were quite close all along, but John Woods now got back. See Dave Bristow going back past Jimmy. So Stephen Hamilton just trying to catch up on Gavin. So as we look back up to the top section, looking at the corkscrew, see the leaders coming through. As Graham comes down, catching up on Andy Walker, takes him up the inside, back marker. So it looks like Graham Tatton's going to come through to take the first race of the weekend. Really strong race from Graham, from pole to the checkered flag in number 1 position. And we've got Ryan Clipston coming through for second, having lapped George Fielder. And Jimmy's got the drive on Dave. Will he make it to the line? Yes! So that's a second place in 4E for Dave Bristow, third for Jim McNally. First place for Nikita in production, maintaining that 100% record of every start, every finish in first place. Not sure what the records are, but I find it hard to believe anyone's ever managed that before. Second in production was Steve Wright, so that fight for third. Gary's been cashing in, but still Ben takes third position in production. Gary fourth, Shane Udsdale fifth. Sixth in production, looks like it's coming through, will be John Holt. And then Gavin's now got dropped by the other two. Stephen Hamilton's trying to catch John by the line. Stephen Hamilton obviously getting faster every lap, getting used to that new scooter he's on. But that's everyone through now, I believe, through the checkered flag, because the others were lapped. So that's the end of the first standard scooters race, stock scooters race of the day. So we'll be back in 4 races time. So this is race 4. Race 8 will be the first of the supers races. So we'll be back for that in probably 20 minutes to half an hour's time, and we'll look forward to you joining us then. We'll be racing on till 6 o'clock in the afternoon today, so plenty of time to get the other 2 races in today, and we'll look forward to you joining us for the next one. Cheers.